this video, I'm going to be putting Lego to the test against extreme deadly experiments, with each experiment getting more dangerous than the last. So anyways, let's go. For our first deadly experiment, we're going to be blowing up this city with fireworks. All right, it's lit. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, those fireworks completely exploded the buildings in half. But to be honest, I think we can get way more destructive. But that's why the next 6 experiments are way deadlier. With the next one being testing if a Lego skyscraper can survive a magnitude 10 earthquake. But before we do that, let's test the same earthquake versus the scaled down city and see what happens. All right, let's put the earthquake machine on level 1. And already the building started shaking and falling from the lowest setting, completely destroying the city. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that was the lowest power in everything got destroyed. But now let's see what happens with a real skyscraper. So I built this 4-foot tall skyscraper out of 5,498 pieces and put a bunch of my minifigures around the building. Yo, this dude's just up here flexing his money. Yes, he has no idea what's gonna happen. All right, let's turn the earthquake device to level 1. All right, we're on level 1. Dude, the building literally isn't moving. But even on level 1, somehow the building was still okay. Let's turn this up to level 10. All right, we're on level 10 and the building's literally about to fall off the table. Yo, the corner's starting to sink. Yo. Bro, instead of crumbling like I thought the building would, the building literally just fell off the table, completely crushing everything. Dude, look at all the rubble everywhere. Is that a dude's arm? But I think it's safe to say that the earthquake literally destroyed everything. Now on to the 4th deadly experiment. We're going to be simulating a dam breach. I've seen movies where dams break and cause a crazy chain reaction, and I want to know if I can do that. So I got this aquarium and created a dam inside of it and built this small beach town with a giant beach house, a food truck, a lifeguard, a dude stuck under the sand, and even this guy getting chased by a shark. Hopefully the flood helps him get away. But let's see if this giant wall of sand is enough to stop water from flooding into the beach town. All right, the hose is going in now. Let's see what happens. And instantly, the water started soaking the sand and causing small pieces to fall everywhere. Yeah, the guy getting chased by the shark is getting cooked right now. And within the first 10 seconds of the water being on, you could already see the dam starting to fall. Wait, no way it's this easy for the sand to destroy this dam. And soon enough, the surfers on top of the dam fell into the water. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I think this entire town's cooked. Yo, wait, it's starting to fall. Yo, the entire dam is falling apart. Nah, bro, look at all the water going in. Yo, this place is cooked. Bro, the water's almost at the 2nd story of the house. Dude, that flooded the beach so easily. But pretty much everything that got touched by the water got completely destroyed. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't as crazy as I thought. I mean, this house got sandy, but this next disaster is gonna be way better. So now let's move on to our 5th experiment. This is a giant fire station set, and this is my flamethrower. For this experiment, we're gonna be testing how Lego can actually survive against a flamethrower. But before we absolutely destroy this building, we need to see what happens if a mini version of me gets flamethrowered. Wait, is flamethrowered even a word? All right, JCD, it's time for you to go. Yo. And after a few seconds, the minifigure became instantly unrecognizable. All right, now all we need to do is sit back and let the fire do its work. All right, I mean, I don't think there's literally anything left to burn. This minifigure genuinely got obliterated. Look how flat it is now. He even left a mark on the table where he was. But let's take this up a notch, since that only took 10 seconds for the entire minifigure to be destroyed. I want to test if a minifigure will have more protection if it's sitting in a fire truck. All right, there's no way this gets destroyed as much, right? I mean, it literally has an entire fire truck. Isn't that supposed to, like, stop fire or something? All right, let's turn this flamethrower on and see what happens. And instantly, the fire ladder started melting completely. But somehow, the minifigure was getting saved by the windshield of the fire truck. No way, this isn't completely destroyed yet. But right after I said that, the entire car started melting together. Dude, you can just barely see the colors that were on it now. It's all burnt. I mean, maybe the minifigure is still okay inside of it, right? Okay, I think we gotta put this out now. Okay, is the minifigure still in it? The truck is literally unrecognizable right now, and I also think it's safe to say the minifigure genuinely got cooked. But now let's test the maximum capabilities of this flamethrower. For this next test, I want to see if we can burn down an entire fire station and destroy literally everything in it. Okay, I think at least one minifigure on the bottom can survive. That's possible, right? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. Bro. That was so crazy. I put out the fire, and as you can see, literally everything melted together. Bro, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a minifigure right there. Yeah, the entire fire station got cooked. But before we get to the hydraulic press, let's move on to our next disaster. This next experiment is going to be testing if I can freeze Lego without damaging it. When I see other YouTubers testing if they can freeze Lego, they literally never get it out without destroying it. I mean, dropping it 50 feet probably isn't the best idea, but who knows? Anyways, I bought these two Lego sets to freeze. One's this giant minifigure with a small version of himself, and the other set is this dinosaur to kind of simulate the Ice Age. You get the idea. But to freeze them, we're going to be putting them in a bag, filling it with water, and leaving them in a freezer to freeze it so it gets frozen. But after 3 days of waiting, everything is finally covered in ice. Let's see if we can get this out without any tools. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, this isn't breaking. Luckily, I have this hammer. Bro, it just broke off the hat. I mean, I didn't damage anything, right? Okay, let's see if we can get the big minifigure out as easily. Hopefully you don't get hurt. Yo, did I get it out good or what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I actually cooked this set so badly. While I was watching back the footage, I realized I accidentally hit way too much and scratched up the set pretty badly, pretty much destroying it. So now for our dinosaur set, let's try out a different tool and see if it's any safer. Bro, you actually have to be joking. That did nothing to the ice? What? Yo, okay, I know something that'll work. Yeah, it's actually impossible to get Lego out of ice without destroying it. Well, now it's time to move on to our 7th deadly experiment. We're going to be testing how dangerous a hydraulic press is against Lego. For our first test subject, we have a normal minifigure. Let's see what happens. All right, the press is coming down. And clearly, this minifigure was no match for the hydraulic press, as his entire body started looking like Flat Stanley. Now, let's see if a minifigure with a giant head can survive. I think bro has a lot on his mind. All right, the press is coming down now. And to no one's surprise, the minifigure with a giant head got way more crushed than the original minifigure and completely smashed his body as well. Now, let's see how Mr. Gold survives against a hydraulic press. Okay, if this gets crushed, this is hurting my wallet. Well, that completely destroyed the minifigure. But I guess it's a good thing that I used the Temu version instead. But that's the last deadly experiment. Subscribe to be an OG before 100K.